911, do you have an emergency?
Thank you for calling the Sacramento Police Department.
Sacramento Police Department, may I help you?
Sacramento Police Department, how may I help you?
911, do you have an emergency?
Help is on the way.
911, do you have an emergency?
Help is on the way.
Hey y'all, it's Dana and I'm coming at you with this edition of 411 on 911, and today I've got with us Marla and Jeff. We're going to be discussing domestic violence, and if you are a victim of domestic violence or a witness, what happens when you call in here to the communication center. So Marla, does Sacramento Police Department receive a lot of domestic violence calls?
Unfortunately, we do, Dana. We receive calls from all over our city, both male and female, from the younger generation to the older generation. In January, we received 615 domestic violence related type calls, and out of that, 313 were actual reports taken by officers.
Wow. All right. This is a sensitive topic, obviously. So can one remain anonymous when they call in?
Absolutely. If you're a witness, you can remain anonymous. With crime, however, we do need a victim. So if you are a victim, we will need to talk to you. And but I think you can remain confidential, right, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you're a victim of any type of domestic violence type situation, as a victim, you have that right to remain confidential when it comes to the police report.
So the actual paper portion?
Yes.
Okay, that's very good to know. Okay, so say I hear my neighbors fighting and it's a couple. Is that okay to call in on 911 for something like that?
Absolutely. And we're just going to ask you what you're hearing. If it's loud banging around, verbal disagreement, if you hear things hitting the wall, and if you actually hear somebody screaming for help and yelling that somebody's hitting me, those are all definite reasons to call 911.
Okay, so say a victim of domestic violence is out there watching us right now and they want to call into the communication center to report something. What can they expect from you as a dispatcher when they call in?
Okay. They can actually call in on non-emergency, emergency, or 911. And if they're not able to call for some reason, if they're hiding or they're injured, they can use text to 911 as well. And that would be putting 911 in your text line and actually sending a text to 911.
That's great.
Yeah. And then once they reach the police department, the dispatcher is going to ask if they need an ambulance or if there's any injuries. They're going to ask for suspect information, clothing description, a description of the vehicle if there is one.
Okay, so once they determine that this occurred in our jurisdiction, in the city's jurisdiction, and dispatch an officer and you respond out, Jeff, what happens?
The first thing we want to do is find out the safety of everybody on the scene. So we'll try to assess the situation. We'll get there and usually contact the victim right away and find out if they're okay, if they need any medical aid. Where's the suspect at? What's the relationship to the suspect and the victim? Are there any kids involved? Our biggest priority is to make sure everybody's safe and that there's no medical attention that needs to be taken care of right away. The next thing we're going to do is we want to find out what happened. What took place the night that caused you to call the police. And at that point, we will determine based on your answers our next step if we're going to make an arrest or not.
So what are those next steps?
Well, based on the laws in the state of California, if you're in any type of domestic violence situation, whether it's a dating relationship, marriage, whatever, kids in common, we are mandated that if there's a complaint of pain or visible injuries that we do have to make an arrest.
Oh, okay. So I think that the bottom line here is if you are a victim of domestic violence, we want you to feel confident and secure and comfortable calling us here at the Sacramento Police Department. We are here to help you. That is our sole purpose. When officers respond out, that is their sole purpose, just to help you. And no one deserves to be a victim of a crime. That's the bottom line, right guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the one thing I'll add is if you are a victim of domestic violence, we have options that we can give you, restraining order information as well. So you don't have to have that fear in your head if you need. We got options that we can help you get in contact with family courts and get something put in place. Emergency protective orders is another option as well.
And we can post some of that at the end of this.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of resources.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching us for this edition. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining me. And if you have any comments or questions, just post them at the end of this and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So thank you very much. Take care all.